Hello everybody, welcome back to Landedkiller plays World of Warships just for fun 47. So we're going to be starting out with some brawls. We'll go from there. Here we go, we're going to start with Agincourt. Here we go. Here we go, we got an interesting matchup. Agincourt versus Agincourt, Caviar versus... Here we go. Hope you all have been having a good day.
Action stations.
I'm going to try to make streaming more of a priority on this channel, so that we're doing it more often. Just posting the link to the live stream in a couple of spots, and then let me turn off the volume on my phone so I'm not echoing. Huh? Let's see. He's moving. Good. So the enemy team's already gotten a hold of Cap A, probably a destroyer or cruiser, I imagine. Hope it's a destroyer. Oh, jeez, 2 destroyers versus 2 battleships and a destroyer. Oh.
Enemy force detected.
Alright. Keep going for it here. Shot locked in. He intends to fire off torps. There's no way he's going to sit there and not fire off torps. Oh boy. Oh boy. Just realized that we're about a day or two after the patch.
The enemy is about to win.
Jeez. Where did our destroyer go?
The enemy team has taken the lead.
Man.
Fire.
I wish I had specialized this in secondary build, honestly. Sometimes. What? They had said that brawls were going to be a thing earlier. Probably would have done that. But I can barely do any damage to him. Ah, just shows on me. I should have picked a cruiser. We're gonna try a different round. We're gonna see if they're gonna play in something other than an op destroyer. You know what? Let's play in my op destroyer. Let's see here. Where is it? Where is it? Not Hill Fusion. Double check what I have set up on this. We're gonna play in Fusion. Yeah, that's right. I forgot they can't have aircraft carriers in here because it's tier 5. Makes me wonder how they're gonna balance that alt line of American carriers and Japanese carriers. We're getting a hint that maybe the American carriers are coming. Who knows? They're not. Jeez, everybody's divisioning in here. Say, if you guys want a division with me while I'm live, that's fine too. You're gonna have to let me know in the comments. Alright, here we go. Alright, let's get some of that rolls action going, shall we? Nobody's showing up yet. Alright, so I got this battleship Galileo Cesare closing in here. Smoke up. T-22 I'm facing. Kind of lie and wait here. Alright. Oh, might be able to get this battleship, but I'm gonna have to swing it. Other way. Come on, come on. Other way. We need to get some. Oh, they can see me anyway. increase my speed here.
エンジンブースト始動
I need to rush that destroyer so it doesn't go after my teammates. Destroyer's lost a lot of health. I gotta do something.
敵重要艦撃撃源から魚雷接近前方に魚雷確認
優勢になりました。
発煙装置始動
I knew their battleship was gonna be waiting over here. Just had a feeling. Alright.
主機損傷航行不能敵駆逐艦撃沈しました
Hear this.
エンジンブースト解除
No torpedo 2s are ready. I gotta wait. Jeez. I gotta really go at it hard. Good. He's down. Down and out for the count. That's what I like. Go back to port here. Alright, which ship to go next? I think we're gonna change this up a little bit. Try Kronzi. Kronzi Crown. I haven't played it for so long, I don't think the signals run it. Oh, I can put a second flag on it now, huh? Alright, this is Russian. We're just gonna kind of do a mix of brawl and normal randoms here tonight.
Начинается!
Gonna have to live stream on during the start of the week rather than the end of the week just because of the type of work I'm gonna be doing. Rather, I'm gonna be putting in some long shifts pretty much, so I'll be zonked out the rest of the week. But perhaps we'll do Sunday streams when I can. We'll see. Right now, probably a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. I'm going to try to at least get one stream out per week from now on. Greetings, Straswell. How are you? Ah, yes. Kronzy Kron's one of my favorite tier 5s, too. I just don't take her out too much. You know how the game goes. I try to get you to play the higher tiers. Most of the time, I'm probably playing tier 6 or tier 7. Sometimes the occasional tier 10. Just depends. Oh, nothing much. Just getting ready to start a new job here later this week. That's about all. Otherwise, I'm just trying to enjoy life here. I've been trying some new teas. The cinnamon tea is pretty good that I'm trying here. Drinking a little bit as I'm streaming. Cinnamon and tea, that's the best idea ever. Like I was saying a little earlier when I started, I'm going to try to make this a weekly thing where I'm streaming on like a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, something like that. Because I want to build up the community more. Alright, let's see what's going on. Sourcing into A-cap. Yeah, tiers 5 to 7 are good. The way that camouflage is, it looks so much like that. What am I doing? Need to be using high explosive, not armor piercing. Why was it set to armor piercing?
Пожарная тревога.
I need to find out. This is.
Неполадки устранены.
Alright. Thanks, I'm glad you liked the incomparable. Doesn't seem to be my thing today with this. Thanks, dude. I always appreciate the support. I think it runs about 8 seconds behind of when I'm talking here. Slight delay. So let me see here. Let me try something else that's not gonna go up in flames so easily. Try hill. Let's see how hill goes in this. If I'm not sipping on some tea, then I'm probably shifting on some Fago. Some Shasta. What about you, Straswell? You got anything going on? Got some nice goals in the warships that you're working on? I always think it's decent to have goals occasionally. As for me, I'm kind of a little torn as if I should sit there and get Schlieffen right now, or if I should grind out my Italian lines more before I go for Schlieffen. Right now I'm at Amalfi for the Italian cruiser line, and I'm at Surrey in the British heavy cruiser line. Well, technically I do have Eber Marley unlocked, I just don't have the credits to purchase it at the moment. Credits are one thing that I wish that they weren't trying to reduce your earnings on. back in the day in Nara, you could get credits and experience so easily. You could get away with like, I want to say like 15K free experience if you had the right flags. The credits were about double what you are now, pretty much. I think it was like 500,000 credits you get on the high end at one point. It changed ops so much. It's a good line, Pensacola line. That was my first. Yeah, I remember that year kind of. I kind of was overly ambitious. I ended up getting a couple of tier 10s by year's end. Back then things were a lot easier. You could get a lot of tier 10s. You had to have the signal flags, of course, to do it. Those Admiral Yamamoto containers used to give you so many flags. That's how I managed to get there, was with Admiral Yamamoto containers and putting in some decent time and effort, you know? I'm open how I got there. Admiral Yamamoto containers aren't worth it these days, though. They don't give out many signals, because you used to get, like, I want to say, like, sometimes you have a double drop of 12 special signals, like you go 12-12, and sometimes if you got really lucky, you used to go 12-12-12, from what I remember, but now it's somewhere along the lines of, I want to say, 7? I want to say it's 7 signals or 6 signals are given out. Not as many double or triple drops anymore, so they're not worth it these days. But back in the day, that was what people were getting to get to the tier 10s a little faster, was the Admiral Yamamoto. Oh, you got Salem, huh? Kind of funny. I got Des Moines before I got Salem. Salem I just got in 2021. Say I got that one October. I think it had to be October of 2021. I got Salem finally. All right. Let's see. Anybody saying anything in the team chat? Nope, nobody saying nothing. Alright. Better give Mutsuki here some smoke cover as soon as this... Alright. Some smoke here.
Smoke generator started.
I'm better off going after this one, the Konsberg. Let me see here. Yeah, your torpedoes don't go out too far in hill, but everything else about it's pretty much decent. It's more of a gunnery focused destroyer. Think of it like a mini Fletcher at tier 5. Pretty much got the idea of hill. One of the first ship reviews I did. The very first one was October Revolution, from what I remember. You're getting overly cocky there, aren't you? Jeez, I better turn on speed boost and get the heck out of Dodge. Look at him, he's going for a ram. You really want to sit there and piss me off, don't you? I got torpedoes too, dummy. I'm not going down without a fight. You're out of the count. You are down and out. I need to get out of here and go support my battleship here. Konsberg's not going to just let me go without a fight. Oh yeah, he's turning around. Oh. Always get you in the steering gears, I'm telling you. So it's always the first thing that goes, your steering gears. It's not that, then it's your engine on these destroyers. Alright, I know. Luckily, I got the equipment to sit there and counteract it just a little bit. Interesting, so the only one left is their battleship now, Caviar. Oh, the cruiser died. Must have been taking some flood damage, or... Oh, the battleship must have gotten the Konsberg. I didn't get the Konsberg with my torpedoes. Just gonna pop in behind Congo here and give him a hand. I don't want to get too close, or else I'll get obliterated by the secondaries. That Caviar is playing pretty smart by sticking to the isle like that, but now he's going on the open where I can get him with the torpedoes, so he's kind of being silly. But like I said, you have to get close with these torpedoes, unfortunately. He's running because he knows I'm here.
Engine boost deactivated.
Why his guns turn the other way? Must be because the slow traverse of the turrets. I don't know, put out a couple wide spreads here. Oh, we must have won. Ah, torpedoes are gonna get them anyway. Bad battle. What we got for ops this week? Oh no, not defensive. Naval Newport Station. You just get such terrible teams these days on the op. Made a whole video on it actually like a couple weeks ago. Teams are just not good these days, and I think people are noticing that because people don't learn how to play the game and they just rush and buy the shiny tier 8 or shiny tier 9 or even tier 10. Honestly, if you want my honest take on why they're pushing the super ships, because they're running out of ships, number 1, and number 2, they want to sell more tier 10 premiums. My take on it anyway. Alright, let's see here. Ready to go. Strasbourg, any ship requests at tier 5? Have anything you want to see played? You like the Italian? You think this is good? I'm just gonna pull out Genova here. Alright, let me see here. I'm going to pull Genova. Alright, so I'm going to pulling out Genova here. Here we go. Genova time. Honestly, I'm trying to figure out the next ship review. Trying to think of what I haven't done. I think I've already done Oleg. Have I done Aurora? I have to double check. If I haven't done Aurora, I might just do Aurora next. Aurora is a tier 3 Russian cruiser that's pretty famous in Russian history for certain historical events during the Russian Revolution. Boy. Like I said, Strauss, if I get a ship request, even if it's not a tier 5, I'll do it and I'll pull it out. Think of any ship on your mind, I probably have it. Just probably not the special anime ships for Azur Lane. Ugh. I don't even like Azur Lane. Honestly, some animes are just weird. Like Azur Lane is weird, you know. At least High School Fleet makes somewhat sense. The Arpeggio of Blue Steel, that one, that's a pretty decent one. Was there a line? No, that's taking it way too far for me in my comfort levels. Not not a fan of that one. Honestly, I would like to see a Naruto collab with warships. Honestly. It seems like all the collabs are going to Fortnite. I just have no interest in that game because it's all about kind of like a cartoony shooter. But a lot of people bug me to say that I should try it, but I'm kind of like, not my thing. I like the Call of Duties that Treyarch makes. The old ones anyway. The new one I'm just like, too fast. You know? I'm making games too fast these days. Marvel had Kirov Nicholas. Okay, we might be able to win this. Kind of slightly in our favor if we play right. Yeah. We had a good amount of people in the last one, probably because it was on a Friday, but during the time when you ideally stream on a Friday, I'm going to be working. I'll be working, so I'm not going to be able to do Friday, but I might be able to do Sundays occasionally. So I'm trying to do the streams when I can, which is going to be at the start of the week, typically. I want to try to make this a weekly thing. Firstly, it seems that algorithm isn't always in my favor these days. I guess they want more shock and awe content and all that, but I'm not. I'm just like, how am I supposed to put 4 to 5 hours into editing one video when I could be putting out 2 or 3 videos at that same amount of time? Because that's how long they sometimes spend on those little shorts to put in all those effects. Just not my thing, shorts. Only ones I ever do are the Temple Run 2 fails. What about making a video on my time at Kasota, Minnesota? I don't want to sit there and tear open old wounds for war game, man. Maybe I will talk about it, but only talk about the positive stuff. I don't know. Again, you can't talk about the positive, I'll mention the negative. So we do get sap shells at Genova. We don't get smoke, unfortunately. Citadel's quite weak on this ship, so I'm gonna have to keep moving. Yeah. I'll be working one of them 3 days on, or what is it? Kind of varies. Some weeks it'll be 3 days on, 4 days off. And then it'll be the inverse for other weeks, you know? So I'll only have the start of my week pretty much open, but Friday and Saturday most always I'm going to be working. They do that because it's more of a factory type position. I'll be working some long 12-hour shifts. That sort of a thing.
Problema risolto, signore.
Yeah. Factory job doesn't hurt. It's just gonna take some getting used to because I've had mostly public facing jobs before. Oh, you got Genova for free? That's nice. I forget how I got Genova actually. I think maybe I got it out of a random container. Hard to remember back that far. I better get my torps ready. The fact that you get dual torpedo launchers per side is an amazing feature of the ship. Citadel is just so weak. care of this fire.
Concentrare il fuoco sul bersaglio indicato. Problema risolto, signore.
We're running into this cove here. Ooh, only the stars left. We're actually winning this. Good. I like Genova a lot. The torpedoes have decent range, and it's an oddity among tier 5 cruisers because it can perform well. You just got to play it cautiously, you know. Man, I remember when the first Italian came out. Yeah, the reload is poor on it. Got that right. I wish that Yahigi, you know, had better armor on it. Honestly, it's already gimped in the torpedo department. Why not give it decent armor? Makes me wonder what sort of plans Wargaming has for the future. Now, Chibitsu did leak out that there's going to be a focus on carriers this year. It was like way back when, like during July, pretty much. Like they're going to focus on Commonwealth and carriers. But it got deleted pretty quick because Chibitsu was kind of breaking NDA with that.
Nostra squadra è in vantaggio. Siluria prua. Siluria babotto.
Dang it. I gotta turn around and face that destroyer. Oh, destroyer's destroyed. Interesting. Commonwealth carriers? Yeah, I kind of took it as such when I read it. I actually think I might have went over it in one of the past live streams. I'm not sure. But I seem to remember there was a focus on Commonwealth and carriers and subs, from what Chibitsu said. So, I would say almost 100% certainty that there is going to be a Commonwealth line. As to it being specifically carriers, I'm going to say 50-50 on that. Because Chibitsu did mention Commonwealth and carriers and a Pan American too, I want to say too. Yeah. So basically, most definitely there's going to be a line here. This is getting a line this year from what it sounds like. There's going to be a focus in Commonwealth and probably a focus in this line too, most likely. Okay, I don't know why it's not showing up. Okay. But you can kind of tell that they wouldn't just stick Commonwealth in there without there being some sort of plan. Because they don't have a tree for Pan American yet. These guys, Pan American, I'm sure these are getting a line here soon. I would say maybe third quarter for this. As for Commonwealth, I feel like that's going to be more prioritized. I feel like this is how it's going to go. We're going to get... It's going to go Pan-Asian cruisers like we have now, then Italian destroyers, and perhaps an American CV split, and then after that, most likely Commonwealth or Pan-American line. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Yeah, everything's kind of just... What they're gonna do, Strasbourg, is they're probably gonna do a little copy and pasting from the lines. They're gonna make new versions of these ships, or they're gonna take the carriers that were removed and make different versions of them for Commonwealth here. They're going to take whatever designs they can find in the archives and scrap together a line. They already did it for Soviets, so you might see different version of Furious, for instance, or Hermes. You know, most of the time they take it from prems, right? You know what I'm saying? They take it from prems and they make a different version of the prem be special in some way. So let's pull up carriers, American, and British. So let's see what we got for carriers that Wargaming could tap for that role. It's not going to be Saipan because Saipan's way too... What? Saipan's already got like copycats. It's got a black and it's got a special version. So perhaps they're gonna make a different version of like Ark Royal, for instance, like another one of its class, and they're gonna put some sort of gimmick on it so that they can get it to function in the new line. Yeah, Drua's skin is good. It's one of my favorites actually. As for them making another version of Enterprise, I'm gonna scratch that and I'm gonna be like, nope, nope, they're not gonna do that because they already got Yorktown and Hornet making it into the game, so I doubt that. Ranger, maybe, maybe not. They'll carry it over. Depends. But I would say there's probably going to be a different version of Ark Royal if they can't find something from the archives, and they're going to stick it in the Commonwealth tree. They'll make up some bloody blah about the UK giving of one of the class of Ark Royal over there. They're going to take whatever scraps of plans they can find at this point. Alright. Independence class, yeah. That's a strong likelihood too. Honestly, I'm probably gonna... Honestly, what I really want to see is I want to see the Cleveland hybrid. Because there's a Cleveland hybrid carrier design in the archives. I'm surprised I haven't drawn on it yet, but there's different variations. There's one where this back half is completely carrier, which is the one I think they'll probably do. And then they just leave these two turrets alone. But if you go that route, obviously you're going to have to down tier this in some way or really buff up the armor. But seriously, that makes for an interesting concept. What would a hybrid Cleveland carrier look like? Would it be a speedy carrier like Chakalov or what, you know? It's an interesting thing to think about. Alright, let's see here. We're talking all these hypotheticals. Getting myself off task. Yeah, they probably will. Whatever scraps they have lying around, they'll pull. Guaranteed. Honestly, like, look at this, right? You got Ramont. This is Ditto. This is Ditto, just the concept is different with this one, obviously, of course, because the focus is on deep water torpedoes, arcing shells, that sort of thing. So this is essentially Ditto, but in the Pan-Asian tree. So they'll take classes that we haven't even thought of, and they'll stick them in that hypothetical tree. I'm not going to rule out the possibility of there being a carrier line, honestly, because we've already done, for this year, we've already done cruiser, Pan-Asian cruiser, then the next will be destroyer, and then you'd think battleship line would be next, and then a carrier line. So it could be one of the last things they do for the year, if you think about it. Because they tend to release one of each in a year, if they can. We went to German battleship, Pan-Asian cruiser, Italian destroyer. Next is going to be either carrier or battleship. Probably carrier. Might even be closer than we think. Yeah, similar to Tone pretty much. But they're going to have to do something fancy with it, like give it speed boost or main battery reload to compensate for its hybrid nature. They can't just stick it in tier N without some sort of help. I imagine a speedy hybrid Cleveland with a lot of consumables. That's what I imagine if they're going to stick it at tier 8. Or they could stick it at tier 6. Could have it be the American answer to Issei in some ways. But honestly, it's going to need some gimmicks when they put it in the game. I'm going to just put it as when at this point because I'm sure Wargaming's scrambling.
Action stations.
Just going to take out Ramat here. Honestly, the Pan Asian Cruisers is the hardest class I've ever played in the game, point blank. I'm not saying something. I really was struggling on Azumo for the longest time before I got all those buffs. Yeah, this is one of the hardest classes to play besides the Gimp submarines. That's a good idea. Yeah, definitely grind for Chungking. I know I'll probably get a hold of Chungking here in the future. I just get a nasty taste in my mouth whenever I think about that event because the random bundles were introduced back, so I don't know what their thinking is on that. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe they gave us the chances really of how that all works.
Anti-aircraft gun crews are on full alert.
Thought it was going to come over here. The AA is pretty strong on these guys, though. I suppose you could say that much, but I just don't see why you would play them, you know? I was hoping that they would go for a design concept similar to Hyung-hae, you know? Where they had the torpedo reloader on the all the tiers. I guess they sort of went that direction, but smoke is different. It lasts longer, which is good. I just wish that these had some armor.
Anti-aircraft gun crews are on normal alert.
Just a little bit of extra HP would help. Okay, they're telling those guys to get back. Stay back here. But yeah, your torpedoes are your strong point on these guys. Definitely go for concealment build. Concealment build to the max with these guys. You don't want to go with anything else. It's not worth it. Oh, you got the Leander, huh? That's nice. I think I stopped at Leander for that line. I just never finished it. I think I was too much into one of the... I think it was German battleships I was doing. I started the line. I guess I just didn't like the feel of it. I'll have to give it a go again one of these days. I'm doing the heavy cruiser line on the British right now. It's like getting to tier 7 is the easy part, but once you get past tier 7, it's a long grind. Especially with them sitting there and running the game as how they do now.
Torpedoes dead ahead.
I'm gonna have to seek shelter behind this island for a bit. Oh, the Asashio, that's why. Fantastic. There's always a funny name on a destroyer, honestly. Alright. So my torpedoes cannot hit destroyers, of course. I'm gonna try to get them with my guns here. See, the gun arcs are just weird with these guys.
Anti-aircraft gun crews are on full alert.
I'm just glad the AA is strong on this so I can say something. Ninghai, huh?
Torpedoes dead ahead.
I've never heard of that ship before. What was it? Was it like armed with 155s or? Give me the rundown. I'm interested in learning about Ninghai. Is that like was that like a light cruiser or like a heavy cruiser from the Chinese?
Gun crews are on normal alert.
Oh, yeah, the Sasashi's hiding over here. Yeah, Emerald is a tough ship. It has the distinction of being a harder ship to play, even from the early days. These guys are not going to get you much damage, unfortunately. But yeah, tell me the story on Ninghai. Is that just kind of a... You said tier 3, tier 4, so I'm thinking 152s or 155s on it. Sometimes they'll get interested in the Chinese lines. It just depends. A lot of the ships from this line are American or British, some Russian, one or two from Taiwan.
Anti-aircraft gun crews are on full alert.
Man, focusing me like nuts.
Forward of the starboard.
You must have not have aimed those drops right. Light cruise 140mm guns, huh? That sounds interesting. That you don't see that caliber in the game ever. Would have been interesting. Sashio, nope, Sashio's still alive. Question is where did he go?
Anti-aircraft gun crews are on normal alert.
Yeah, Ninghai sounds like an interesting ship. I have to look up a photo or two on that one. Jeez, that Asashio's hiding good. I wonder if he went north. His position indicates he probably went north. He snuck back around me and is going toward the carrier, but then at that point, without Warspite, would have spotted him by now. Is there another Sashio? Nope. Nope, nope. Still alive. Just a matter of finding him right now. Oh, this Sashio's really hiding well. Oh, so Japan, so they were scuttled. They're fighting against Japan. Yeah, that's crazy. Hell. Alright, I need to turn around here, otherwise I'm gonna get focused. That Sasha's gonna have to wait. Commander skill RPF. What is he talking about? Shima. Sunk again. Wow, that's a long service life for a cruiser. Honestly, when a ship survives all the way up until 45, that's an accomplishment by itself. If so many ships were sunk before then. The original Enterprise, for instance, that sank. That was a very major ship, Enterprise. The Grey Ghost, I want to say they called her. And then I think it was Lady Lex at one point as well. I'm just going to kind of advance here. You can kind of see that my damage is really low on this ship.
Our team has taken the lead.
So your primary opponents, you probably want to focus on light cruiser versus light cruiser or destroyer. You don't want to go anything higher than that, otherwise you're going to get wrecked. Look at these shells, right? They have this weird arc to them. I don't see why you'd want to really focus on this line unless you like to be more of a support and assist player. I think you might have an easier time actually playing the original Atlanta. Oh man, better pop some smoke.
Smoke generator started.
Duck for an island here. The range is just so bad. I think that they need to increase the range on these guns by another kilometer or something. Give it some fighting power. It just doesn't seem like the strongest thing right now, you know?
Smoke screen set.
These cruisers are very fragile. Is he really that? I'm located by the Asashio, probably. And I'm detected. Free Atlanta's good. My experience is just based off the tier 9 and the tier 6 here. The tier 6 just doesn't feel like the strongest. Honestly, I don't think it would have hurt them to put a repair party on these cruisers at the lower tiers. Even if it only was like one charge or something. Didn't have to be superhero, just give them a little something to boost them up a little bit. Better yet, let's just swap out Def AA for a repair party or something, or Smoke for a repair party. I think I'll give Janan eventually a try here, but I'm gonna have to just take my time with getting there. I'm just not feeling I'm not feeling enthused about it like I would have like another early access event.
Problem solved, sir.
Gordon Liao, you know, back in the Dutch cruiser event, at least had something going for it with that airstrike capability. These Pan Asians can have the torpedo capacity going for them, I suppose. Gotta give them that. They have good torpedoes. It'll have to do for now. This torp's launched. I don't think it would hurt them to add torpedo reload booster to the lower tier ones. Pop my smoke here.
Smoke generator started. Main turret
Where's that
critically
over?
damaged.
Alright, let me try a different ship. Repair would be nice indeed. Like I was saying before, Hyunghae has... See, it even has Hydro, right? And it gets Torp Reload Booster, so it... And it's got the crawling smoke. I think that the premiums are designed to be prototypes sometimes. Like the tier 6 ones, they're designed to be prototype line concepts. They just don't tell you that. Maybe their original plan was to do Torpedo Reload Booster and Crawling Smoke. I guess it just depends on what they're gonna go for the future. Let me see. Were these torpedoes deep water too? Nope, these are normal torpedoes. Only 8 kilometers though. Very situational. So they did get the range down at least. We'll take this into randoms. What do you mean, no? Yeah, the Gusta. Yeah, Duca, I do like having the high explosive on Duca. It helps out a lot. I remember when that first came out, everybody was so excited for it. I was excited for it. The game felt like it was at its high point. Everyone was talking about it left and right. You had iChase, you had Notzer, you had No Zoop, all of them making videos on it. I'm gonna really miss iChase if he's really done making videos. The thing about YouTube monetization rules is that you lose your monetization if you don't put out a community post or a video within 6 months. So he's gonna lose that pretty quick here if he doesn't put out a video. As for this channel, not monetized yet. Still have to hit the 4,000 watch hours. We're at 3,722 on that, and subscribers I need to get up to 1,000, and that's gonna take a bit. We're getting some subscriber growth, and I'm happy about that. It's just gonna take a while. Yeah, you really do use you really will lose YouTube monetization if you don't publish within 6 months, pretty much. That's after you've been accepted into the partner program, which has the minimum requirements of 1,000 watch hours, good standing with YouTube, verified phone number on account, and 4,000 watch hours, and no community strikes. I appreciate thanks. I think it's possible we'll get there. I think the YouTube algorithm's kind of on me a bit because I'm not putting out shorts. I'm not the kind of person that's just gonna hop on whatever new trend's going on. It's just not me.
All stations, reporting the position of a strategic target.
I mean, I suppose you could make a short with the ship sinking ships, but that's gonna take a lot of editing and time to really narrow that down. Alright, I'm too... Alright. I need to slow down here.
Started.
You can see that your arcs are fixed on Honghae for some reason. Hyonghae. You know, it's kind of weird. I thought I remember being able to switch to wide on this before. Maybe it's just me. Normally, when you hit the 3 key, you're able to switch to a different... Alright. I need to speed up and get out of here. See, there's no way to do a wide spread. It is an underestimated ship. Yeah, I know. I try to address everything that I can, Strasbourg. I try to address it all when I can. It's been slow on the news side of things for a while. Besides the super ships, of course. But yeah, I do aim to do my best here. I don't think there's any major changes in the works besides the rework of submarines. That's on there. They haven't released details on how they're doing that.
Ship is on fire.
And they're having the jet super ships coming next patch, which I'm kind of surprised about. Still can't wrap my mind around it. First blood? Jeez. I didn't think I'd get that. I don't agree with the concept. Honestly, my concept is this. Super ships, not interacting with tier 10. Develop the fully modern ships. Completely develop a line. Like World of Tanks did on the console. Completely develop that line. Have it cut off so it can't interact with tier 10 and below. And have them only interact with their tiers. That's how I would do it. That's the only way I see it's going to work. I can just imagine the uproar from everybody when these carriers come with the jets. You can call them tactical squadrons all you want. I don't agree with the whole idea. It should be fully developed modern ships in its own separate mode. Not interacting with tier 10 and below. Like call it tiers star 1 through star 3 or something. Because that's all you're reasonably going to get, honestly. Because development of ships kind of slowed down after the war. All they got was like missiles and the nuclear power. They kind of stopped designing so many different classes of ships after World War II is what I'm saying. So it should be tier 10 and below, stays the same. Super ships and modern ships in their own different queue. That's how I would do it. Thanks, Strasbourg. I just try to think what's the best solution to this nonsense without going overboard. I still think that they should do this other idea I had where they bring back the ships from the 1890s and they start sticking them in the game. Kind of how I was talking about with the super ships, kind of like in their own bracket of tiers where they're not interacting with the tier 1 through 10. Sub tiers if you get what I'm saying, and they just have the tier 5 economy. So many good battleships that we don't have in game. I mean, we get to have Dreadnought, right? But we can't have USS Idaho, the first battleship. I believe it was either USS Idaho or USS Iowa. I don't think tier 8s will have to face super ships. That's the thing. I don't think they will. I think it's the tier 9s. I think it's going to be 2 brackets. Tier 9s versus the super ships. Because they're setting it up like tier 11. I don't think tier 8s have to face super ships except in rare circumstances. But if they are, then that'd be news to me. Yeah, tier 8s versus super ships. Definitely terrible prospects if that happens. That's what I was led to believe. I believe it was only tier 9s and tier 10s that face super ships. Maybe that was earlier on in testing that they let them face tier 8s. We're gonna have to run a test run and see what happens if I go into a... To be honest with you, I haven't even bothered to get super ship tokens because I've been so disgusted with the super ships. I think they should have taken their time and they should have fully developed a whole line of modern ships separate from the tier 1 to 10. Missile age and artillery age do not belong together. I'm sorry. And the jet age does not belong in artillery age. You get what I'm saying? Artillery ships switch to missile ships. They don't belong in the same age. Talking about 10 to 20 years of technological development past World War II. Pretty much. Yeah, they were quick to just retire a bunch of ships after World War II, and they switched to missiles pretty quick. There were several different proposals for the Alaska-class USS Hawaii, for instance, to equip it with missiles, or to turn into a carrier, or to finish it in a different configuration. So I think if you see USS Hawaii pop in a test, then you should be very worried, because that's the ship that they were planning to convert to a missile testing platform. I think that's a possible ship in the future. Variation of the Alaska class without the guns, pretty much full-on missile systems for the most part. I'm not a big fan of missile ships, because think about it, your battles will be over just like that.
Our victory
Pretty
is in
much.
sight.
At the end of the day, Straws, what matters to me is not necessarily the views, it's that people watch the videos. That's what I think matters the most. If it takes a while to get to 1,000 subscribers, I'm completely fine with that. What matters is building up a dedicated audience that wants to watch the videos, and you're part of that audience, and I thank you for your support always. You're so good. I'm always watching for your comments, by the way. Sometimes I just don't respond right away because I got something going on. I try to respond. Since we've been talking about all these lower tiers, maybe it's time we pull out a lower tier ship for the next one. Question is, do we go tier 4 or tier 3? Mackinson. Yeah, I just don't understand why like all these bigger people or whatever, they think they need visual effects every 5 seconds. I don't need to hear somebody screaming my ears off, pretty much. I just watch YouTube to watch the content. Most of the time I'll watch content from Sealord Mountbatten, as he's one of the last people left that's actually making daily content on the game. I'll watch him, or I'll see if there's a video out from Notzer or No Zoop for you. Kind of check them and see what's going on. Notzer and No Zoop for you sort of sometimes put out videos these days, but not really that much anymore. As for iChase Gaming, he was my favorite for a long time, but he hasn't been around in almost 5 months now. Pretty much. Yeah, it'll be 5 months come February. That's such a long time to be gone. He did post a tweet basically saying he was not happy with the state of the game. And that's about it. Otherwise, radio silence. That's kind of why I streamed on Friday last week, was because Sealord had technical issues, and I was like, hey, do you guys want me to stream? They're like, sure. And I just went for it. Had a decent time. Had about 3 or 4 people in here for a bit. I need to go grab another Shasta here. Oh, I still got some left. There's just something about Shasta that you just like. The taste is more smooth. It's not so hard on you like Pepsi, or it's more like smooth like Coca-Cola. I hate it when you have those sodas where the taste is just like full blast right away. I like the sodas that are smooth tasting, if you get what I mean. Like your Coca-Colas, your Shastas, that sort of a thing. Yeah, like I said, I miss iChase. He was definitely in my #1 spot for the longest time. But now these days, it's Sealord Mountbatten in the #1 spot for me. iChase really did a nice series for the longest time called Know Your Ship, where it would actually take time and look at past ships and tell you what their quirks, what their history was, all that. I've been thinking maybe I ought to sit there and try something like that. But I need to get some footage, of course. I need to figure out how to get archival footage from the archives. But I'm not going to be making no half-an-hour documentary on the ships, so I'll probably be aiming for something that's like a 5 to 10 minute history, something like that.
Our victory is in sight.
I think that Warships has forgotten its historical aspect for so long now, it's ridiculous. Oh, you didn't know about Know Your Ship? Well, yeah, he didn't really advertise it heavily because he stopped publishing videos on it some time ago. He actually had a new episode in the works, and then he completely just dropped it, or for whatever reason, and never finished it.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
That was the kind of content he was making back in 2019, 2020. 2019, I want to say. Yeah, back to the roots of the game, seriously. Like, heck, I remember when I looked at these in beta. No second destroyer line, no carriers, only Otago. Like, the Japanese only had, I believe, from what I remember, the cruisers and the battleships initially, and then the destroyers came next. And the Americans, this line was obviously very different. You had Pensacola here, New Orleans here, Baltimore up tiered to around here, and Des Moines here. There's another ship in here. That's right, because Cleveland was a tier 6, Pensacola was a tier 7, New Orleans was a tier 8, tier 9 was Baltimore in the past, and tier 10 was Des Moines. So only had the cruiser line and the battleship line, the main battleship line for the U.S. And that was it. You didn't have all these other nations. USSR only had Aurora. It didn't have all this. It only had Aurora. That was it. No Germany, no UK, no France, no Italy, no Pan Asia, no Europe, no Netherlands, no Commonwealth. It was just Japan and US in the beginning. Cruisers and battleships. Cruisers, battleships. That was it. The destroyer line didn't come until later on in the beta testing. Let's go back to the roots of my playing of this game. Let's see here. Where is it? I have to pull out Otago. Pull out Otago. It's been such a long time. Yeah, there's no DDs. No DDs until later on. It took them a while to develop the concept. When the game officially launched or whatever for public release, of course there was destroyers in it, but it was only American and Japanese. No other nations until the months after, pretty much. Yeah, those are the days. But I had a potato laptop at that time, so I couldn't sit there and record anything. I tried to, but it just didn't turn out right. The whole laptop would crash on me. Games changed over time, as I say. You had a lot of people leave when the CV rework happened in 2018. That, and there was a time when there was no coal and no steel, when it was purely free XP ships. When everybody was going for Nelson and Missouri all the time. Missouri was, I believe, 750k experience, actually. 750,000 experience, free experience. Those were the days. The credits were roaring, the experience was rolling. You could get to tier 10 within a month or two if you just had the dedication. Nowadays, it's going to take you like 3 months, unless you're going to sit there and convert the free XP or something. Alright, you could grind so many credits out of, get so many experience. Defensive Naval Station Newport, teams that actually work together. You could play tier 5s in that, along with tier 6. That was a different time. The developers kind of put a lot of nonsense in this game that you didn't really need. How could I forget the old RTS style carriers? Just simple drag and drop. Those were off back in the day. Those were super powerful. Carriers are nothing like how they used to be. So when people say that they don't like how carriers are, I just tell them, you didn't play during the RTS days. You have no idea how powerful they were. That, and then you had torpedo soup everywhere. So many torpedoes being launched. It was nuts. That is nonsense. Alaska. That's why I was saying maybe you should get Congress. It's close enough to Alaska. You just gotta sit there and play it right. Gotta play the midline with Congress. I'm not sure Congress is available for coal. It's been a while since I checked. It's not a bad ship like people say it is. It's decent. You just gotta play it more cautiously compared to Alaska. Really obsessed people is the fire duration on Congress, that it's still 60 seconds or whatever. Honestly, that was one of the changes I couldn't get on board with, was the change in the fire duration from, what was that, 30 seconds to 60 on the super cruisers. I mean, that's just complete nonsense. It should have just been its own class. The fire burn timer should have been at 45. Not 60. So you're enjoying Congress so far, then I take it? That's good. That's good. Definitely get that radar module for it. Abuse that radar. That radar is one of its strong points. I think it's even got a better radar than Alaska, as far as duration goes anyway. Like I said, it won't be long before they pull out USS Hawaii. I'm going to put it at 1 to 2 years at this point, and they'll pull it out. There'll be some mention of it here within a year or two. That was the unfinished Alaska-class sister. And then, of course, there is Guam, but I'm not sure if they're even going to stick Guam in the game, since it's just Alaska identical, pretty much. If they really wanted to introduce another version of Alaska at Tier 9, they would do Guam. But Guam was identical to Alaska in all characteristics, so I don't know how they would introduce it. Maybe give it a main battery reload booster, give it worse accuracy in exchange, something like that, I imagine. I see USS Hawaii coming before Guam at this point. Those Alaska-class ships had such a short service life anyway. They only were around for maybe around 10 years, and then they were gone. Pretty much scrapped them in the 50s, I want to say. This is probably the ship I've played the most at Tier 8. Yeah, the carrier design I'm making in the game, that might be more practical. Carrier design would be probably much more practical. That would be interesting, a hybrid design. I have a lot of support up here yet. Play this cautiously. Hey. It's on you. You get off the line. Alright. Why are you saying yikes? Because the torpedoes? Because I took a massive hit there.
前方に魚雷確認。前方に魚雷確認。
Honestly, I think I'm gonna have to sit there and space out videos more on the other channels. I'm gonna try to stay as close as I can in daily uploads on this one. If it's possible, I'm gonna aim for more of that. Just gotta get used to this new job, I guess, first, and then we'll go from there. But Killer Film Reviews is never going to be a channel where I'm going to sit there and just publish for the heck of it. It's going to be something that I'm going to put time and effort into before I put out a video. That one's not going to see much videos on it. That's the intention at the end of the day. Yeah, I know. Massive hit indeed. Oh yeah, I remember that too. Those were the days. In World of Tanks, they just completely eliminated the line completely, and they just melded into the landscape, so it's very confusing when you play on it sometimes. Yeah, Killer Film Reviews is one that's not going to have too much content published on it. It's mostly a film and TV review channel, pretty much, with World of Warships gameplay in black and white. We want to capture the feel of 1930s cinema a little bit. Alright, let's get some torpedo volleys launched. What's this turn? Oof. A lot of damage I just took. Oh man. Close.
Support the allied target.
I can't do much of that right now. I'm trying to get away from these guys. Taking damage. Ship that I ever despised playing. Probably Azumo. Because Azumo was a really difficult ship and finicky. Not really my favorite at the end of the day. It was really hard to play. That and probably the early versions of the French cruisers. Before they got the reload booster and all the fancy gimmicks, French cruisers were one of the hardest lines to play way back when. Let me think. The initial version of Ashitaka was pretty bad. It's got Citadel like nuts in that one. But yeah, like the early French cruisers, early Azumo, those sort of guys. Azumo was just a terrible ship to play way back when. Just atrocious accuracy. The only thing it had going for it was probably the secondaries. Even that was the old secondaries, mind you, not the current ones. Try to do a secondary sit-up on a Zuma, no, you're just gonna be asking for trouble. The French cruisers, ugh, so many I got Citadel so many times in those, it's not even funny. Algeria. I was playing through Algeria about a month or two ago when I was doing my Research Bureau reset. It's a decent ship. A lot of people like to sit there and kite with that one. Speed kiting, if you will, if that's the term I'm going to use anyway. You can just go so fast with it that you can't be seen, you know? Yeah, as for premium ship wise, Ashitaka. No, it was a terrible ship. No pun intended. It had worse shells, it had worse accuracy. It's nothing like how it is now. It was really bad. It really lived up to its name way back when. You're on the tier 5. Oh, am I burned? Yeah, you want to play that one behind islands. You want to try to get behind islands with M.A. Burton. It's a really fragile ship. Okay. This is just such a hard-fought battle. It's more of a threat.
Concentrate fire on the designated target.
Ziton for now. Sign up. Come on. Have any thoughts about the Italian destroyers there, Strasbourg? You think they look decent? I'm kind of looking at the concept right now, and it looks pretty interesting. Ah, sign up's gone. 103k damage. Yeah, Emerald. I just haven't played that one in a long time, but I don't think I had much fun with it either. I don't even think I have it in my port anymore. Nope. I have Hawkins or Exeter. That's it. Ah, Hawkins. I forgot. This one's a pretty fun one. Let's put it in a brawl for a minute. Do I have a better commander I can slap on this? Not really. Surprised I haven't seen this in brawl. Yeah, it is troubling for the gun range. Oh, man. But yeah, I started looking around for other content when iChase stepped away. That's how I came to know Sea Lord Mountbatten. Released his videos and all that, you know. He does a good job. He actually releases videos at 4 a.m. Central most of the time. It's pretty early in the morning. As for me, I'm kind of all over the place right now. But I want to stabilize my releases to the old schedule pretty much. I want to go like this. I want to have 7 a.m. for ships, 6 p.m. for the other channels. That's what I want to reorganize around, pretty much. That way that the ships gets enough traction, and then the other videos can get traction as well. I think the reason why I'm not getting so many views on the Incomparable versus Stalingrad is because I put out too many videos at once. So I'm going to need to just space out the videos better. Heck, I had 3 Minecraft videos drop back to back within a day or 2 of each other. Ugh. Oh, at one point I was thinking along those lines of running and getting Russia with the torpedoes with the British. But yeah, the Italians are kind of like Palio Emilio, from what I understand. The final tiers in that game, in the Italian line, are actually hybrid cruiser destroyers, pretty much. So you're basically running around in a light cruiser with no citadel the whole time. Tier 10. I think they're going to be more fun to play than the Pan Asians. We'll see what happens with that. I really would be interested to see where Yorktown ends up at the end of the day. I need to kind of rest right here for a minute. Oh, of course. They're decent channels. Honestly, what really surprises me is that Landedkiller Racing is getting recommended in the YouTube algorithm over the other channels. It makes no sense to me. That just makes no sense to me at all. Why YouTube's recommending that and not my other content? But it appears that of all the channels right now, Landedkiller Racing is definitely doing the best in terms of views. Followed by the main channel. I don't get it. I'm guessing it's because I'm doing a game Rebel Racing on there that isn't covered too much. I'm just doing pure gameplays though. I'm not even giving commentary, so I don't get it. Man, I just took a bit. As for the killer film reviews, I'm careful with that. I don't include the copyright. I don't include like clips because I'm like, it's like, do I really want to take the risk? Especially after what happened to Totally Not Mark. Totally Not Mark was a YouTuber that had like all of his videos taken from him, pretty much, like 150. I think he got around 20 of them restored, but Toy Animation just went after him. They went after him hard. Like, the copyright claims came within seconds of each other. So that's why I'm hesitant to like start putting in clips and all that in the reviews, but I'm still giving my impressions on him, of course. I need to figure out a spot where I can get some clips I can use that aren't going to be copyright struck, you know? I'm not going to be risque like all these other channels that are posting video after video of copyrighted content, you know? I'm on a rock. Come on, I need to get out of here. That's one of the trickiest things ever. So I was like, I'm not even gonna bother posting clips because of the videos because I don't want to risk that, you know. Oh, I got some Pan-Asian tokens or what? Oh, because the new mission change started like you said. This looks easier than the first round, actually. One battle, get 10 hits to Citadel ribbons. Really? Wargaming, nobody's going to be able to do that when the caliber on the guns is 127. It's not possible. This is probably possible, but this is not possible. Wargaming, always sitting there and putting in missions that hardly anybody can do. Have they not learned from Puerto Rico? Ugh. Puerto Rico, though, that was the biggest uproar I ever did see in the game until the CV rework. I think that the CV rework came first and Puerto Rico after, and then CCX this. Honestly. Maybe scenes from each other. Maybe that would be good enough. Would be a bad idea. I've seen it where they'll pull scenes from the trailers and they'll just mute the audio from the trailers. I've seen them do that. Maybe I'll try that. I'm gonna just say that I'm just gonna. The channel is gonna at least try to aim for at least 1 or 2 uploads a month. If it's not more than that, this really depends on when I can hit the movies or if I'm watching an old movie. I'm probably gonna start reviewing what's in my catalog of movies for a while here until something big comes out. I mean, there is Scream, but I'm not really much for the horror genre. I'm really just trying to wait till something decent comes out. Just don't know what that would be. If that would be... Oh, there is Moon Knight. Moon Knight's not coming out for a little bit here. I'm already watching Book of Boba Fett. I've already watching that, so I'm going to do a review on that when that's wrapped up and done. But my impressions of Book of Boba Fett right now, without giving too much away on plot details, is... it's in the middle. It's so-so. It's not the best, but it's not the worst either. There's definitely things that they could do a little better with it. But I can't really get into details on what they could do better right now because I don't want to spoil the series. Oh, you want me to play Unitus? I can play Unitus. Let me switch to it. Yeah, I sometimes pull the ship out occasionally. It's decent. But yeah, it should have been a tier 4. I'll pull out Unitus. Just double check my signals. Signals, that'll be fine. Yeah, that Kansas skin came out at a time when everybody was kind of mad at Wargaming, so it kind of slipped under the radar for a lot of folks, but I just wanted to get it. Honestly, the one on the Z23 is probably the best, though, but the Kansas comes as a close second. I just got to grind that line for the German destroyers. Yep, silly wargaming overall. They do a lot of silly things. Like Kranzi Krem is not. Kranzi Krem should be able to fire all of those guns on it. Like they got like the secondary turrets right at the front which block the view of everything else. You should be able to fire those. I don't know why they haven't unified different calibers of artillery shells yet. Seems like a no-brainer. The Tier 4 Svetlana, which is the analog of Kranzi Krem, is better than the Tier 5 Kranzi Krem. It's ridiculous. But yeah, the Tier 4 Svetlana, the original configuration of Kranzi Krem, is better than Kranzi Krem. It's really mind-boggling. They do a lot of screw-ups. I'm gonna get myself some. Yukon was probably the biggest mess up on Wargaming's part in years. The only thing Yukon is good for is probably operations. That's probably about it. And I even had Mouse comment on one of my videos, and she was like, "Ah, I see you're playing the ship." And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't intend to take it out too much." So on one of the live streams, actually. I forget what number, if it's just for fun, but she actually did comment on one of the live streams I did. This was back in the day when I would do live streams back to back pretty much. Sometime during July or August, I want to say she comments on one of my vids or whatever. Ah, an October Revolution's better than Unitas. There was a whole event where you could get this ship. See, he doesn't have the clown camel on it. Yeah, old Ronald McDonald. They sure took him out of the advertising pretty quick. Haven't seen him in an ad in years. Donald's. Sometimes I go over there and get the quarter pounder deluxe actually, but otherwise I try not to go there. I only go to McDonald's if I'm really feeling like I have to, you know? Otherwise, most of the time I'm gonna try for making my own stuff at home. I like to make my own burgers at home for sure. I like to season them up with a little garlic salt and a little gourmet burger seasoning. It just turns out great. Usually I like to do one patty and then one thing of cheese and then some ketchup. I'm more of a classic guy. Sometimes I've experimented though a little bit with adding some. I'm gonna say it was Yellow Label something or whatever I tried with the burgers once. I tried cooking it. It was a weird tasting burger. It tasted like I was eating liquid electricity when I had the burger I made with the whiskey, because I poured in a little bit of whiskey while I was cooking it. It was like, wow. Oh, my mouth was like, it was like crazy. Oh yeah, I was going for McChickens a lot. I guess I just stopped getting McChickens because a buddy of mine just got sick with, got the actual virus from it, if you can believe it, you know? It was the craziest thing ever. Either that or he got it when we went to the, hit up an event or whatever. Oh man, we're all gonna collide here if we don't turn. Ah, oh, jeez, they got us caught in their grip. Revolution just took a lot of torpedoes. Well, that's what it tasted like to me when I did Yellow Label of something. I just forget what it's called because they got Yellow Label, Blue Label, Black Label, Red Label. It was a type of whiskey. Very popular type of whiskey, and they got their fancy little labels. Yeah, Yellow Label's definitely what I like with that particular brand. It's very Johnny Walker, that's what it was called. Johnny Walker Yellow Label, that's what I used. Poured a little bit of that, and I made a burger, and it turned out decent. Something I gotta try again sometime. But yeah, most of the time I don't drink though. If I do, it's probably just maybe a Sam Adams. Or it's a cocktail that I made. I try not to get cocktails from restaurants too often because they make them way too strong, honestly. I like to just make them myself. That way I know what goes into it. Oh, I know all this damage. It took too much. Ah. Well, this ship right here, USS Texas, is actually the only remaining example of an American dreadnought from the World War I period. As I... Yep. This came out just in the middle of World War I. It's the only ship we have left from that era. The only one left. All the other ones got scrapped or were used as targets. I guess technically Arizona counts, but Arizona's underwater and it's a national monument. And that's something you're obviously going to think about too much. You can visit the Arizona, but it's more of out of a respect thing. You can see some parts of the original design of Arizona. Texas is going in for a refit. It's going in for a refit, so it's going to be unavailable to visit for about a year or so. Maybe about 2 years, actually. Because they got to get it, they have to have it go through Panama Canal and then all the way on the other side of the U.S. Honestly, I was probably going to visit Texas here before all this stuff happened with world events that I'm not going to get into, as that's not the sort of stream we're doing. Honestly, one of the things that I don't get is people just appealing all the videos to 12 and 13-year-olds. It's just like, okay, do that if you want. Like Mr. Beast, you know, he does this whole thing where he's just yelling at the start of the video and he just kind of belts off a lot of things at once, and I'm just like, okay, go ahead. Honestly, I can watch some of his videos, but others of them get kind of repetitive over time because it's the same challenge, just bigger scale pretty much most of the time with him. But the Squid Games, you know, that was a work of art. That was a work of art, Squid Games, when he pulled that off. Oh, man. I got to go to Kauai some years back, and I was trying to bug my dad to go visit try to go to the main island to go visit Missouri. Didn't want to budge. But I know that the next time I go out there, I am going to visit the Missouri. I'm not skipping it next time when I go. Because Kauai is a smaller island. It's not the big island. Missouri's on the big island. But if I ever get the chance, I'm going out there and I'm visiting Missouri. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that we didn't get... If there's one ship that I'm sad to see never survived the scrapping, it's Des Moines. Des Moines never survived the scrapping. It could have been saved. I wish I could have seen Des Moines as a museum ship. At least Salem survived. It's just a little bit tricky to get to the East Coast. Oh, you couldn't go see her up close. That's sad. I think that actually there is another battleship that's still there. I think it was USS Utah or Oklahoma. It's one of those two. I want to say it was Utah. Because it's not just Arizona and Missouri there. There is another battleship there. It's either Utah or Oklahoma that's under the water there. But it's a private memorial that only Navy veterans can visit, or naval officers. You can't visit it if you're a civilian, unfortunately. It had to be Oklahoma or Utah, one of those two. Because they were having a hard time trying to restore the ship. Like, they got it upright. They were trying to get it upright. They got it upright, but they realized that it was too damaged to salvage, so they just were towing it, I want to say, and then it got sunk during the towing. It had to be Utah or Oklahoma. It's one of the two. It's just kind of tearing me up right now, because it's like the thing you know, but then you don't remember which one it was. So it was either USS Utah or USS Oklahoma that's there in Pearl Harbor, besides Arizona and Missouri. But you can't visit it because it's private. Oh, so it was Utah. I knew it had to be one of those two. Yeah, they had trouble trying to salvage Utah, so they just called it a loss and left it there. But yeah, like I was saying, I wish that USS Des Moines had been saved. Ah, man. But I just don't think that they have the... I think that they were close to getting the funding, but they couldn't quite get it. Then you have the tricky part of where you're going to put the ship.
The enemy is about to win.
Yeah, I watched a video on that too, a while ago. It was interesting. It was like a 4-parter, I want to say. Black and white. I just forget who made it. Yeah, it was interesting how fast they got all the ships back in action. It's really a shame that we don't have West Virginia 1944 yet, that they've pushed it off so long. At this point, we're not going to see it until 2023 at the earliest. They said, oh, we're going to get to work on it right away. And then in classic wargaming fashion, they tell us nothing. You have to really bug a wargame in order to get information out of them.
The ship is on fire.
The enemy team has taken the lead.
Jeez. Oh, it was one of his. Drassfield. I have to take a look. But yeah, the whole salvage operation with those was nuts. It took a while. I'm glad that they were able to restore a lot of the ships back.
We're hull below the waterline. We're flooding quickly.
Enemy severely damaged.
Problem solved, sir.
Yeah, I'm just hoping for some more pre-dreadnoughts. Honestly, it's crazy to think that we don't even have half of the pre-dreadnoughts that actually existed.
Torpedoes, direct front.
Jeez.
Torpedoes to starboard. Hull below the waterline. We're flooding
Taking a lot of
quickly.
damage from these torpedoes. That just shows you haven't played Texas in a while. I'm rusty. Jutland ships for sure. Look at this annoying bug again. Ugh. I gotta fix the bugs. It just gets so annoying. Where is it? Not that one, not that one. This one that talked about the epochs. See if there was one in here that talked more about the historical ships. Rapid, no. Perhaps it was this one. Nope, I don't need the seals. I want to see where the ships are. Interesting. Okay, then why did we not get Soya then? Okay, you brought us Farag. Why didn't you just bring us Soya too? Ah, man. So many missed opportunities. Albany. Albany is the oldest ship besides Mikasa. Huh. Yeah, I'm wondering for the British battlecruiser line too. Bugs are annoying. I had a friend that I had a friend that lived over in Hawaii, and he said that they had these frogs called the Koki frogs, which were really annoying. I just kept on saying Koki, 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 and like they just really got used to them over time. I'm just trying to see if this says anything about other. See, here we got a cruise right here, Bonnie Annie. This is an old one. Jurin de la Grave. Wow. All these ships that we could have had in the game. Already clicked on them. What's this one? Varag. Wow. I'm just kind of seeing if there's any information hiding here about other ships. Because they had a whole collection of stuff here. That's not going to talk about anything historical. Navy aviation. 3 years of ships. American cruisers. Viva la France. I'll forget that one. Yeah, silly frogs indeed. Okay, so the UK tech tree came out on the 2-year anniversary, so around 2017. Yamamoto, Asokari collection, Dunkirk, Hunt for Bismarck collection. Yeah, I'm just kind of surprised they don't put more focus on the historical aspect anymore. Oh, thanks, Strasbourg. It took a while. It took a while to get all those ones complete. Let's see here. What did I have? What was the next coal ship that I was going after next? Probably just gonna get Khabarovsk out of there. Don't really have enough time to grind it out. I think this is ridiculous right here, having this locked behind this. At this point, you might as well just let us research the darn things. If you're going to release them early like this. Got a long ways to go on that sort of a thing. And of course, everybody's talking about Incomparable right now. Incomparable, this guy right here. This is the next steel ship I'm going after eventually. Jeez, it's got Hydro too? Just gave the ship everything. Let's see if there's any vulnerabilities on this that I can go after. Plating 32, 102, 152. Okay, so maybe the middle, but the Citadel's kind of sitting at water line, so that's pretty decently protected. Jeez, they gave us a ton of concealment. Working on NAR aviation, that's cool. I wonder if I have enough now to get it. Let's see here. Okay. Nope, I don't have enough. What was I gonna say? What was the ship that I... Oh yeah, Zuma. Yeah, this ship was a real pain in the butt back in the day. For the brief time when its secondaries were decent, that was one of the best ships to play for it. But yeah, they pretty much took out a hull here. There's supposed to be another hull in here, and they took it out. I don't know why. Probably for a future premium ship. Yeah, this ship was awful to play. Yeah, that is kind of a lot. What do you think, Strasbourg? Should we go for Nakhimov or Stalingrad? Preference? Yeah, it was a weird design. It's kind of like a backwards Nelson. Three hulls as well. Stalingrad, huh? Alright. Well, it's Stalingrad and we'll play around with it here. Seeing if there's anything going on quickly on the forums. Sometimes I like to check it throughout the day to see what's being talked about. Why do you play random battles? Agincourt, has co-op become too easy? Rumor, please. Gold, what? What?
Let's give them a hard time.
Бой начинается.
No. Somebody's trying to get everybody to say, oh, there's going to be gold ammo in World of Warships. There's been no dev blogs, there's been no stream saying any such thing. Unless you see it in a dev blog or a live stream. Just replying to somebody on the forums. It's likely... Alright, now I'm back. Same with... Yeah, I hate it when they delete older hulls. I like the more historical hulls. Like, for me it was Langley. Langley had a nice older hull and they got rid of it. Fortunately. Oh jeez. Super ships. I need to go towards a different cap here.
Пожарная тревога. Неполадки устранены.
Damage here. Yeah, in the next batch they want to stick us with the jets. Not 11.0, but 11.1, I want to say. Ugh. It's like wargaming. Randoms is not a testing ground. The accuracy is crazy good on Stalingrad, which I like.
Пожарная тревога.
Oh man, taking so much damage. Anto. Guess we'll repair it. I know I took so much damage.
Неполадки устранены.
Shot. Honestly, I'm hoping that we don't see a 5-turreted Napoli as a super ship.
Concentrare il fuoco sulla nave nemica.
I hope we don't see that. Please, Wargame, do not introduce that into the game. Napoli, that was the last ship I chased, I think, reviewed, actually. Then he completely disappeared from the airwaves after commenting on the whole Wargame apology situation. They could easily incentivize people to play the test server. Just give them free steel or free research bureau points. I mean, come on. Ah, jeez. I just remembered something from the dev blogs. They're introducing a container which lets you get tier 10s. Oh, man. It's just nuts.
Внимание, командиры. Передаю координаты цели.
I would love free steel too. I'd suggest on the forums, be like, no, you shouldn't do that, blah, blah, blah. And now it's like, you just said buyable steel, technically. So, why not? You know? It's crazy. Yeah. Shells on Stalingrad will go where you point them, pretty much. No issues with accuracy on it. Well, of course you need to earn the tier 10s. Of course you do. That's the whole point of the game, is being able to just grind out to tier 10, but Wargame is ruining that by letting people buy tier 10s, you know?
A tutte le unità, segnalo la posizione di un bersaglio strategico.
Less. Yeah, you need to earn tier 10s for sure. This Petropavlos must be reversing. Where all my shells missed. This team is all over the place. What ain't? You can't just go in there alone, or else you're gonna get obliterated. Why do we have so many battleships just sitting here? So many good cruisers that could easily support me, and they're not. Yeah, ARP Yamato did set a dangerous precedent, fortunately. Fortunately, they get you with those collabs. They bring in a popular collab or whatever, and that's how they get people half the time. That was a test to see if the console would work, and then the next one that they did after that, I believe, was Holy. Alright, I think he's gonna... Still reversing. Ship doesn't turn as fast as the toggle, but it's alright. Man. The only way they're gonna fix this game is if they start actually listening to the players and they actually start balancing stuff around the original rock, paper, scissors design instead of messing with that by adding in silly submarines. Submarines, I tell you. They're gone for 2 patches, and then they'll be back. They'll be back in 11.2. Probably March. Sometime in March they'll be back. Unfortunately. Destroyer needs to be taken out. Get beat up here.
Пожарная тревога. Неполадки устранены.
Вижу линкор противника.
I just wish there was more that could be done. One of the ideas I've had is if Wargaming does something really stupid, I'll just do an entire week of non-Wargaming content for once.
Торпеды прямо по курсу.
Honestly, that's part of the reason why the other channels were kind of started, because I was getting uneasy with what Wargaming was doing, and I wanted to start setting up a backup in case stuff hit the fan. It's kind of why the alternate channel started in the first place. Honestly, if something did happen with ships, I would try to find another decent naval game. Right now, the only real alternative is War Thunder at that point. Or Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. But it would be hit hard if Wargaming goes down, that's for sure. This whole channel will be hit hard if that happens. Superships. Thanks. Kind of each based around my interest anyway. Minecraft one was more of something that's completely new to me. The other ones, I pretty much have played a title or two in them.
Команда противника получила преимущество.
Affirmative.
Пожарная тревога. Неполадки
Coming
устранены.
up here. He's getting torn up too much. Ugh. Alright, let's see here. What else do I got here? I know, I just got taken out. Sucks. Alright. Oof. Do some Dunkirk or something. Your which one I should do. Honestly, when you think about cruisers, this is probably my favorite hull. I just like the shape of the funnel and the profile of the ship. I believe this is the same one they use on... Where's Rochester at? Yep, see Rochester and Tulsa use the same hull. I kind of like this design. Italian battleships, they're okay. I've only played up to the tier 5. I haven't really I pull out Marco Polo here and there in Roma. They're in the middle. Roma's probably the one I've played the most. Marco Polo, not so much. Everybody was buying Giuseppe Verde, and I was kind of like, this is sort of just like a clone. Not really interested, you know? I haven't done any grinding on Caviar in quite a while. What was I at? 19,000? About halfway to get into Andrea Doria. We could try Caviar on the brawl. Yeah, the beer can camo. That was a... That gets you more credits, though. That's why I got it. Gets you more credits. If we go back to it here, I'll show you. So you take a look at the camo, it gets you more credits because it's a special camouflage. See, that's close to what a tier 10 camouflage does pretty much. That's why I have it on there. Cesare, huh? Well, you got lucky with that one because I don't think they've ever released Cesare again. I think it was more of a one and done. They released, what was it? You didn't get Norovosrik? Didn't get this guy? This is Galio Cesare at tier 6. This one was given out for free not too long ago. You managed to do any of the marathon for it, or? Yeah, they all look kind of silly. Honestly, I don't think these are the right guns anyway for this ship. I believe Russia traded these out for 305s. Said something about the AA being different. Yeah, it looks a little different. Those are Russians on there. That's Russian right there. Yeah, a lot of things look silly on these ships. Honestly, one of the silliest ones, what is it called? They made so many Miyoko clones, it's ridiculous. This is a Miyoko clone. This is a Miyoko clone. This is a Miyoko clone. And this is a Miyoko clone. How many clones of a ship do you need? I mean, seriously. And you get the same thing going on with the toggle. Like, if I sit there and I go tier 8. Japanese, right? Tago. ARP Tago. ARP Maya. Tago Black. Oh, so many clones. Ah, the returning players program. I hear that you get good rewards out of that, actually. Yeah, I kind of was really close on some of them, like Kronstadt. I almost lost Kronstadt. Kronstadt was a hard one to get. That in Alaska, Kronstadt and Alaska were hard to get in Musashi because Wargaming engaged in really duplicitous behavior by saying, "Oh, this ship's going away," and they repeated that for almost a year straight. Where they started removing ships to the left and right. So I imagine a lot of people are going to go after Sevastopol because they want that similar feel to Kronstadt with the Siegfried guns. I'm glad that they're not doing that too much anymore, but that was a really annoying time indeed. Honestly, I think one of the coolest camouflages is this one right here. I have it on Missouri, of course. Yeah, bless me indeed. I had too much of a little cough there. Did you want to see this guy in action, perhaps? I think I've had Kearsarge checking out on stream before. I just switch it to bots for this one. Tanks did that over and over again. So many tanks were disappeared for a long time, like the Panther M10. That one disappeared for the longest time before it came back. Same thing with the Panzer IV Smelterm. Probably my most favorite tank overall, actually, the Panzer IV Smelterm, because it looks like a mini TIE fighter. I was really big into tanks way back when. Like I said in my tanks video, you just die too easily in that game. That's why I don't pull it. That's why I don't play it that much. That and then you got the EBRs running around. This is like one of the weirdest ship designs ever. I remember when everybody was trashing on this ship, and then when it comes out, everybody just changed their tune and they're like, "Oh, this ship is good." I remember that. This ship is good. You just gotta sit there and play it differently. Like midline. You do not go up close with this. Midline is your strong point. Yep, too easy to die. That's why I made the switch to ships along with the better credit economy, because way back in the day, Wargaming Premium covered World of Warships, World of Tanks, World of Warplanes. Then they did this annoying thing where they just suddenly were like, "Nope, now you got World of Tanks Premium, World of Warships Premium." I mean, come on. The reason why I don't play World of Warplanes is because the last time I played that game, my computer got super messed up. This was back in the days of the early Wargaming Center client. It just really messed up the computer, and I had to have everything reset on my computer because of the early version of the Wargaming Center. Oh man, everybody was up in arms about that. It was a long time ago, though. You used to have your own separate clients for each game. Yeah. So much time has passed.
Enemy battleship sighted.
Let's see where I'm at on the map. Okay, straighten out right here. Go.
Mode enabled.
Yeah, let's launch some planes. Fiji's got. See if I can get a drop on this Fiji quick.
Approaching target. We've destroyed an enemy cruiser. Disabled. We will defend. Our team has taken the lead.
Oh yeah, I remember
Neither
the.
impossible nor impassable.
How many closer you gonna say, Octopus? Yeah, the unified currency was great when they had that. They got rid of that pretty early on, though. Probably to balance out their economy around what they wanted. That was... That would have been great if everything just was unified under one currency. I do miss those days. So much has just changed. Look at this, you have so many torpedo boats just taking out all the targets before you even get a chance. There we go.
Battleship destroyed. Let's stop Megatron's evil for good.
That's not Peter Cullen talking, by the way, in case you're wondering. It's one of the other actors they brought on to do that limited time Netflix series. And a limited time Netflix series that kind of acted like a prologue to Transformers. It was okay. Just understand it's Rooster Teeth doing all the animations for it, okay? And it's not the same voice actors as in the OG series. Yeah, they had a limited time event where you could get Optimus as a commander. I want to say it was around September. August and September of 2021, I want to say. That's when they had it going on.
Our victory is in sight. Let's finish this fight once and for all. Autopilot mode enabled. Our victory is in sight. Let's finish this fight once and for all. Mode disabled.
Oh, it's not calling at all. It's for that limited time series on Netflix. It's a Netflix exclusive series. It's the container I haven't opened yet. Honestly, if you want to get my take on when the best deals are, it's probably when they bring out the containers sometime during the Christmas. At least it used to be. The drops weren't as good this year. Let me put it this way. They put the containers in such a way that people just weren't getting the best of drops. Unless you had most of the ships in the game, you just got bad drops out of them. The only one that they ever make worth getting is the mega gift half the time. All right, let me think here. Alaska maybe. No, the year before was better. Like I tried to get the Santa's big gift, you know, I tried to get a couple of those and I just noticed the drop of the ships wasn't there. Wasn't there. But on the mega gift it was, but on the big gift not so much. Yeah, they're not in the game anymore, they took them out. Wargaming, what are you doing with Agincourt? jeez. I didn't really mess around with this event. The different Santa Clauses, it just didn't really appeal to me. Same with Team of the Seas. I'm curious to see what it's going to put when I tap recommended. Huh. Funny. Yeah, short lists. Gotta hate those things. Those things really are annoying. I think it's time for some tier 2 action, some Diana. You got an Orkin and what? Yeah, they'll just throw a random obscure premium at you from nowhere. You couldn't get Fujin, Kamikaze, Grimcheski, and one other ship out of the containers this year. I almost want to say it was, oh man, what's the name? Tier 4 Russian battleship that has the Rasputin camo on it. That one, I think they removed that one too. Whatever it's called. There's so many ships in this game, it's hard to keep up with all the names. Got an Orcon last year, that's nice. I wish we had more ships like Diana. I really wish we had more protected cruisers and some more pre-dreads. This is Aurora's sister ship. This is at tier 2 while Aurora's at tier 3. I figure we might as well do some lower tier gameplay. This camouflage on the ship is pretty decent too. All Russian flag for sure, definitely a better design. Let's see what we got here. We got a Novik coming in from that area. Same for me. I like coming down here to lower tiers sometimes. Just to play the protected cruisers most of the time. And Mikasa, of course. Oh man, the first Snowflake event actually lets you get coal from the lower tier premiums actually. And then just never followed up with it the next year.
Вражеский крейсер уничтожен.
St. Louis has a counterpart, Charleston. There's that if you like if you want, that's there. But yeah, St. Louis was good to play. I just really like the gold hull on Chester. Chester's original hull, that is a work of art there. USS Chester was at the tier 2. That one had a good first hull on it. The camo was just
Торпеды
amazing.
прямо по курсу.
Goes back to a different era. Ah, torpedo.
Большая пробоина. Быстро набираем воду. Неполадки устранены.
Наша команда получила преимущество.
Honestly, I think the last tier 3 premium, I think I got wrong in that other video. It was Dreadnought. It wasn't Varag, it was Dreadnought. Varag was for the longest time the last tier 3 premium they introduced, and then it was Dreadnought. The newest tier 3 premium to the game was Dreadnought. Yeah. Torch just really gets you in the side. At the end of the day, you know, I kind of get surprised that that we didn't have more World of Warships YouTubers even talking about Team Seas. I kind of was surprised by that. I was like, really, a game on ships and nobody wants to even mention it. I think I was one of the only ones at the end of the day, besides Zoot. Zoot mentioned it briefly too. Kind of gave his, kind of was in the middle on it. The other guys, they just never said anything on it. At the end of the day, my total contribution was around 20 bucks to it. But at least, you know, I was putting in the videos for a while. I was trying to mention it here and there. So, that's still an active thing if people want. They reached their goal already, so they're probably good for now. I really would like to see his Team Bees. I'd like to see the honeybees. Oh, man.
Отставить огонь по союзникам.
You got Dreadnought for free, that's good. Dreadnought, I think I must have gotten her directly. I got her directly, that's what I remember anyway. Like I was saying, Team C's probably didn't want to support it because they had other things going on. It's like every community has like that one charity they support. Like for Five Nights at Freddy's, it's usually St. Jude's Research Hospital. I think that World of Warships should have supported the Team C's. That was a missed opportunity on their part. But to be fair, they do support efforts to support museum ships. They do that. So that is one good thing they do. Support museum ships. I guess gonna jump up. Oh, I don't know. I just don't get why at the end of the day they didn't say something or at least mention it. I just didn't understand who was running it. I still can't believe they used to make Lima versions of ships. Only thing different is the color scheme. Sometimes it's the horns. Like if you go to Tashibana's got different horns and different color schemes. We got Tashibana L. Besides the horns being different, that's all you got different on them. Alright. Let's take out Indianapolis. It is a shame that none of them recognized it. The only one that ever acknowledged it was No Zoot for You, and that was it. Otherwise, the other guys just said nothing on it. They would just like my tweet, and then they would just move on. That was it. Because you would have thought that the World of Warships YouTubers would have united around that pretty easily, since we literally play a game with ships on the ocean. USS Indianapolis, you know, this ship is well preserved from what I understand. If there's one ship they need to find, it's Shinano.
General quarters.
Oh yeah, Indianapolis. This was my OG premium that I would grind all the time. All the time I would grind with this ship before I got a Tago. I mean, geez, you would think that with modern technology they'd be able to find it easily with Google Earth or something, you know? Like on Google Earth, you can actually look at the wreck of the Titanic in great detail. It's crazy. I'm not sure if they're even updating it anymore, but that was something I like to play around with Google Earth. I think they could find Shinano. I think that would have probably been RV Petrol's next project had Paul Allen not passed away. They had an interest in it when I asked them about it. But I'm not sure if RV Petrol will ever sail again. Because they were the ones finding all the shipwrecks for the longest time. It wasn't them, that it was... There was Ballard, I want to say it was... what's his name? The guy who discovered the Titanic. That guy was looking around for a couple of them too. Oh, I forget his name. Yeah, they still miss the Northampton class, I know. They need to sit there and... There was even a USS Florida class too, and that's not even in the game. You would have thought that would have been an easy one to add. There's a lot of classes of warship that still need to be added. I was hoping for USS San Marcos, the original USS Texas, to make it in the game. One point. Right now I only see them probably doing Olympia. Olympia is in a bad state right now.
Enemy destroyer foundered.
Problem solved, sir.
Yeah, I think, yeah, he did find the Bismarck too.
Our team has taken the lead.
Surprisingly, there's actually been a movement to try to raise Graf's Bay of all ships out of the lagoon. There's been efforts to try to recover Graf's Bay. I hope that they actually succeed with that. There hasn't been any updates. Honestly, one of the things that's pretty odd that actually exists in the U.S. is underwater trains from the 1850s. 1850, 1860. They're off the coast of New Jersey. Just sitting there at the bottom of the ocean. Talking small cab trains that ran on steam. Really small cab. Had the wooden wheels and everything. But yeah, if you want something interesting to look up, Straswell, look up underwater trains, New Jersey. There's no current news on the project of when they're actually going to pull the trains from the water, but that's something I've been looking at on the side. Yeah, I hope so too. There's actually like two configurations they could add to the game of Olympia.
The ship is on fire.
Getting guard here by the Samagi.
Problem solved, sir. The ship is on fire.
Enemy battleship destroyed. Our victory is in sight.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that they sit there and they bring out USS Olympia one of these days. Be a nice ship to have. I really think that it deserves to be in the game. Whether they sit there and yeah, thanks. It was a good kill. Thanks. Yeah, Olympia deserves to be in the game. Possibly, if honestly, I would like to see them do it in the original configuration with the 203mm guns. That would be nice. Oh boy. But you know, it just really depends on what they decide to do. Apparently it costs as much to do a tier 9 premium as it does to do a lower tier ship. I honestly don't understand why. Maybe it's the cost to actually create the ship from a 3D model from blueprints takes so long. I'm guessing that's probably why. That and acquiring the rights to actually put the ship in the game. Like, Aida was one of the hardest ships to get in the game, actually, because there's so many laws protecting that destroyer. Honestly, I wonder if YouTube will even let me play the copyright-free stuff over live streams. Like, I've tried to ask them before and they haven't responded. So, just to stay on the safe side, I just keep the copyright-free music in the videos and I don't play it during live streams. Sometimes, you know, I got some sounds here that I can play. Got some sounds I can play around with there. Yep, 20 mil to dry dock and repair her. So Olympia's in the most need right now as far as museum ships go. There's even a submarine on the river somewhere. I think it's the Mississippi River that's just been abandoned. Abandoned museum submarine just sitting there, and they haven't done nothing with it. Man. Yeah, you want to hear it again? Yeah, I got some sound effects I can play around with here. I just haven't messed around with them a lot on this stream, I guess. Honestly, when I get sunk, I should have played this one. That would have made more sense. Brooksy. I haven't played this one in a bit. I think this was one of the first tier 7s that ever got repair party, actually. Because it was so weak. It's micro. We're leaving that how it is. Yeah. Honestly, I'm wanting to see there to be new game modes again in World of Warships. That's the one thing I want to actually see again. Even even a return of Space Battles would be nice. Space Battles was awesome when that was around. I think the last time they ran it was probably around 2020, I want to say. It's been a long time. Seriously, that air raid horde is so good. In modes and maps, I think we only have maybe one map in development. That's it. Then they were talking about the possibility of a second map being in development, but I haven't seen anything on it in a long time. But seriously though, I wish Origin would stop creating clones of ships and would just focus on new maps. That'd be awesome. Oh, we'll play it again. Helena. Switch to some armor piercing here. Oh, this is not a drill indeed. Going to town. We gotta do some ships. Honestly, my favorite sound is the tiger one. One of my favorite movies just growing up was always the X-Men's. Hugh Jackman just sitting there and just being a badass. There's a whole time when the Fox was the only ones that were actually making superhero movies besides Sony. The original Spider-Man trilogy, that was amazing too. Tobey Maguire, Uncle Ben. Great power comes great responsibility. Those are the days.
Incrociatore nemico distrutto.
Yeah, it has HE, not SAP. Because it came out before the cruiser line actually dropped. That's why. I think it honestly could use SAP, but that was Wargame's design. Decided to go this route. Wonder if there's actually enough Italian cruisers for a light cruiser branch someday. I'll have to see. Get away from here. No, you're probably thinking of Genova, perhaps. Or Gorizia. You might be thinking of Gorizia. Gorizia is the other one. I'm gonna go see where Gorizia is at in my port here. Let's see here. Gorizia. Let me see what the shells it has on it are. Yeah, you're probably thinking of Gorizia because Gorizia has the sap and the AP shells. You don't often see the ship taken out because people are just kind of so on it because it's tied to the Puerto Rico dockyard event in some ways. Yeah, I'm being silly here. Don't forget to like the stream. I should have said that at the beginning. Yeah, if you like the stream, it'll show it to more folks. Yeah, I know. Not too many. I don't even think you can get this ship anymore. Not sure on it, actually.
Ufficiali pronti.
Built by association, indeed. Indeed. Anybody in here that I recognize? Turtle Killer. Huh. Really? Somebody thought that they would name themselves that. Thanks, Straswa. Appreciate the support, man. Really do. Sometimes it doesn't update right away for me. Just did a refresh. Oh, I see. I see. Yeah, it helps it be seen by more people. Always when you like a video, it shows it to more folks. YouTube likes to measure content by the comments and the likes a lot of the time and watch time. Watch time's been going up, which is great. We just got to get the views back up again. That's gonna probably take a bit. So if you have a video or two of that you like of mine, you know, share it and whatnot, it helps. I try to get on the Twitters here a little bit and share the videos and such. Sometimes Facebook. Just depends. I wish there was like a way for me to update Facebook and Twitter simultaneously, but there's not. There's ways to schedule posts ahead of time, that's about it. Because by the end of the time when you finish a video, sometimes it can take you like 2 hours. You know? So that's why it'd be nice if they just had like some kind of app or whatever where it would just post it simultaneously. Oof. Taking some hits here. I think Zara actually gets torso, this does not. Zara is the closest equivalent to this. Oh yeah, thanks. Thank you, Strasbourg, I appreciate it.
Allarme incendio! Rilasciata cortina fumogena. Problema risolto, signore.
Ooh, this battleship. I like how sap shells can just go through most things. It's really nice. Battleships, you know, the shells just aren't as accurate as the cruisers, of course. Like I said, I didn't go for Giuseppe Verde because it's basically it's a nerfed clone of Marco Polo in some ways. There you get your armor piercing and your high explosive, but you also don't have 1.9 Sigma. That's a heavy factor to consider with that. You're essentially getting nerfed Marco Polo with AP and HE shells. That's all you're really getting. Better off getting Marco Polo where you actually have sap shells. And better Sigma. It's a no-brainer, you know? No-brainer. Honestly, I want to see what the N3 and the G3 classes would have turned out to be for the British. Hopefully we get that here sometime soon. As for the Commonwealth side of things, I think there's a good possibility it's going to be carriers. I am imagining an ambush carrier, something that's fast, because the armor is not going to be decent on those ships that I'm thinking of. Ambush carrier, fast, and gets there pretty quick. As for American CV split off, I honestly don't know what form that would take. But with them testing Yorktown, I think it's a matter of time before they reveal it. Because you notice how they show Hornet, but they don't show you Yorktown in the dev blog post. There's a reason for that. There's always a reason. So I think we're gonna get an American CV split. We'll have to see. I think it's coming very soon. Like after the Italian early access event begins, then they should tell us what comes next. Just have to wait for Italian early access to start, and then they'll usually reveal the next line. But early indications seem to indicate an American CV split, unless they're going to really introduce 2 Tier 8 American premiums at once. Which that seems highly unlikely to me. Honestly, I liked it in 2018 when they actually told you what was going to happen for the entire year. What's the point of all this secrecy? What purpose does it serve? I mean, War Thunder's in the future. I mean, War Thunder's in the present. Doesn't really focus on past ships that much, you would think. Like, I want to say, like, in 2018, they actually told us what the entire slate for the year was. And yet they haven't even done that this year. Like, usually they would be nice enough to put out a waterline video and they would say, hey, this is coming next. Or they would tease at it. They didn't even do that this year. I imagine the next thing on the line is probably Lunar New Year sales. That's probably going to be the next thing they do. Because Lunar New Year's coming up in February. So I imagine they're going to have Lunar New Year sales. Now, where is it? Where is it? Let's see here if I can even see it here. Ships. Filter. Come on. I know there's more than this. I don't know why it's not showing here, but there's like special New Year ships that they don't. I'm going to uncheck this. I'm going to filter and I'm going to go not received and we're going to see what happens. I'm surprised. I thought that San Zing would show up in here. But yeah, there's a type of ship that was Lunar New Year's. The Lunar New Year ships do not show up in here for some silly reason. I don't get it. I wish I had gotten Anchorage from the Dockyard event. I missed out on that, unfortunately. And Odin. We'll just have to see what happens. I'm pretty sure I'm going after Ohio next. As for Black, they said something along the lines of they're going to rebalance it and then release it for coal. That's the latest update we've had on it. This is probably going to be released this patch, Dalian. Dalian's going to be released this patch for sure. What do you mean, Canarius? You see it in here? I don't see it. Yeah, but Canarius is probably coming, but I think it had to go back into testing. I don't see it hiding in here. Dalian is definitely coming. Has the 130mm guns. That's the only thing special about it. That and normal torpedoes. Yeah. I missed out on 2 of them, actually. I missed out on Odin and Anchorage. I was just kind of mad at wargaming during that time. I forget about what, though. I forget. Probably Puerto Rico. Alright. My favorite dockyard ship, though, is ZF6 by far. The ship can just go to town on everybody. Yeah, Wukong. Yeah, that would have been a nice one to have. Fortunately, they did them in random boxes with really poor chances from what I remember. Honestly, I wonder sometimes why this... I honestly wonder why we don't have a decent tier 10 Frenchie with the 406 guns. Kind of surprising. Then you have this, which is basically like nerfed Alsace. I don't even know how the ship made it into the game, honestly. I guess Wargaming wanted that ka-ching. Random boxes are random boxes. Alright, Straws. Well, this is going to be my last ship I play, and then I'm going to head off here. I need to sit there and eat some soup here. Got some chicken noodle soup that a roommate made. Yeah, French cruiser line would be nice. I'm going to try to make this a thing every Monday where I come out and I stream. Yeah, they could definitely get a lot of cruiser classes out for French. They have a lot of ideas. Yeah, we've already been going for a while. Here we go. I know, right? I know. It's crazy. It's Grimlock from Transformers. It's pretty hilarious. I put him on this ship because I needed a decent commander on this ship. Because I wanted to test the secondaries out on this. Yeah, this ship in particular is supposed to have better secondaries than the Gasconnet, apparently. We'll see about that. This is the closest that the French ever get to a normal battleship, honestly. All the other ones are so different, it's nuts.
Enemy aircraft carrier sighted.
Couldn't resist. Honestly, I can't wait till I put the Soundwave Commander on Venetia when I get there. That one's still in reserve for Venetia when I get to Venetia.
Torpedoes dead ahead.
Yeah, this commander's funny.
Torpedoes dead ahead. Enemy destroyer blown up. Me Grimlock need no strategy.
Funny when you think about it. Landedkiller superior, red team inferior. That's right. That's right. That's right indeed.
Fire bad. Hate fire.
I don't like fires at all. Some decent damage there on that salvo.
Grimlock say good teamwork. Autobots winning.
I'm gonna try to make this a thing every Monday where I'll just come out and stream. I'll have that as our day where we're all having to deal with nonsense from work, so why not have a little fun on a Monday, you know? I'm gonna try to make this a thing every Monday. Occasionally I'll head up Sunday too, if time permits. Look at those secondary hits, wow. Because I need to establish a consistent schedule anyway for videos and streams.
Grimlock say win soon.
That's part of my plan to kind of get this channel out there more, is to do weekly streams. If I can do more than one in a week, I'm going to try to do that too. But as for when I will for sure be streaming, it's going to be on a Monday. That's for sure. I'm going to try to keep her around 5 or 6 Central when I start. That's my plan. Alrighty, let's fire off the air one last time. Don't forget to like, watch, and subscribe to the Landedkiller Show. We'll be back next week with another stream, and we'll have another video out here shortly within another day or two. Thank you once again, everybody, for all your support. May you have a great Monday night. Alright, time to end the stream. Let's see. See you next time for sure.